So I have been on social media the last 10 plus years of my life. I've been on both ends as both a consumer, and the last 2, 3 years I've been a creator online. And I've seen so many different things. I've seen the power of social media. I've felt the joys of social media, but the combined experience of it all, and today, like September 2025, I am sick and tired of social media. The whole irony of this video is that I'm obviously filming. I'm gonna go sit at my desk and edit it for hours. I'm probably gonna clip it and put it on Instagram. I'm gonna post it on YouTube. I'm gonna sit and analyze everything and blah, blah, blah. Like the whole thing just makes me hate social media even more. But that's the thing. This is just a part of capitalistic society. Like everything you and I are doing right now, it is something that we have to live with and cope with and learn to kumbaya with for the rest of our lives. And I hate that. So this video is going to be about why I hate social media and what I'm about to do with it. It's also just going to be me deep diving into my relationship with discipline as well. So let's get into it. So over the last couple of weeks, I've been thinking a lot about this question. Why do I do bad things in moderation? It is a question that I've been asking across many different aspects of my life, not just social media, but all things. The first habit that came to mind was my drinking habits. I have been drinking since I was 18 and I'm 27 now, so I've been drinking about a decade. And one thing about me is that I'm a very disciplined person. I'm very afraid of addiction. I'm very afraid of falling off the deep end and becoming a bad person. I think it's just the way my parents raised me. Like it's something I fear a lot. And so I know in my heart, I know in my gut actually, that I will never let myself get to that place where I'm making bad decisions, I'm doing bad things, where I'm harming myself or harming others. Like I know I will never let myself get there. And because I have such a deep sense of trust with myself, I've never really had vices. I don't drink a lot, I don't do drugs, I don't party a lot, I don't, whatever is, a vice, I don't do it, and I know I will never. And because of that, I have had a very casual relationship with drinking this last decade. Like my friends will egg me on, like, Joyce, have you ever had a crazy night out? Like, have you blacked out? Have you done anything crazy? And I'm like, no, actually, I've never. Like, I've definitely gotten drunk. I've like thrown up. I've made a poor decision or two, but I've never done anything to the point where I'm like, I have a negative relationship with alcohol and I must be stopped. Never had that thought, so I never stopped. I do a lot of bad things in moderation, super moderation, right? And so I've never had to check in with myself. When I told my friends that I was going sober, a lot of them were shocked. They were like, Joyce, do you even drink that much? And I'm like, no, I don't. And I think that's the problem. It's because I trust myself so much. I make a lot of decisions. Actually, I don't make a lot of decisions. I just run my life on autopilot because in my gut, I trust that I will never get there. I don't have to think of systems to keep me in place. I just do things in place. And so I asked myself, like, why don't I just go sober? Like, why don't I challenge myself to be in control of my decisions and like have that clarity, I guess. And so I have been alcohol free. I think it's been about 3 weeks, and it's interesting. Like my life really hasn't changed that much because, like I said, I don't drink that much. But I went to a party the first week that I decided to be sober, and it was like an open bar. It was a big community event, and I walked up to the bar and I was just gonna like grab a drink, like very habitually, like this is normally what I do, like grab a cocktail or two. And I was like, wait, I'm sober. I'm not gonna drink. It's a Thursday night. Like I want to go home early. But I just got a mocktail, and I think it dawned on me in that moment. It's like this was a decision that I would have made on autopilot. Like I wouldn't have thought about why am I doing this. It's accessible. I moderate, so I will get it. And I think when that clicked, I'm like, there are so many things that I do in my life where I don't check in with anything. I don't make a conscious decision. I just do things because I trust myself not to go too far with it, which leads me to the social media point. I've never had an unhealthy relationship with social media. Like, I'm not the type to doom scroll for 3, 4 hours. I'm not the type to get on there and start comparing myself to every influencer online. I'm just not that person. So I've never had to regulate my behavior with it. And I think that is something that irks me. I'm aware that this is not net positive for me, right? But I still do it in moderation. But why? I think that's my question for me is like, why? Like, you're just wasting time, and what are you gaining from it? Now, a couple days ago, I will say I finally had like that light bulb moment for me in social media where I felt like this is not good for me. As a creator, I initially got into this whole thing because I loved the sense of validation that I got when I shared things that the people in my close community did not understand, where I didn't feel comfortable sharing. When I first got on TikTok, I shared a lot of personal stories about my parents, my childhood, my dating life, and it was all things that I didn't feel like I could share with the people I should have shared it with, right? Like my actual parents or my siblings or my good friends. I just felt like nobody wants to hear me. I think that's the number one thought that I kept repeating to myself. Like nobody wants to listen to me and nobody gets me. So we'll take it to the internet, and lo and behold, like strangers on the internet will support you. And I loved that. I really loved that. The first year I was on TikTok and I was growing, it was a slow growth. I had about 30 or 40,000 my first year. And then over time, I really enjoyed like the creating part of it, in the sense of I loved editing. I loved thinking about how can I make it viral? Can I make money on this? And I got interested in that side of it, the more businessy, creator kind of things. And now that I have been working and doing all of that and seeing the way social media has changed as a landscape, I just don't know what's in it for me anymore. I'm not interested in going viral. The aspects of it that I thought were novel and fun, like getting a PR package, getting a free makeup product, having brands being like, can I send you something? All of that, the novelty of it really, really wears off after a while. Like I get emails from like luxury brand makeup lines, and there are a lot of times when I just throw that email away. I'm like, I do not need another Valentino perfume. Like I've gotten to that point where I'm just not interested in the free shit. I don't want to go commute to this event that you're inviting me to. I don't want to advertise. I don't want to think about how to make my get ready with me punchy and snappy and interesting. Like I hate thinking about that kind of stuff. It's just not something that interests me. And I saw this quote from the Creative Act this morning, and I felt like, you know, when you open up the Bible and it's like, oh, you'll read what you need to hear. I'm really into science. So I open up the book and it says, is a project done because it says so on the clock or the calendar, or simply because the work itself is done, or something like that, right? And I think that's kind of the piece I needed with social media. Like, yes, it's true. I've really fallen out of love with the whole creation part of it, the part of wanting to share my story with the internet, the part where I feel this deep desire to feel validated and to feel heard, the business side of it where I'm receiving products and I'm trying to think about like how to market it. I think I've fallen out of love. I think that's true. And if I really like clench my teeth and like try to get there again, I'm sure I could fall back in love with it. But a part of me is okay with just thinking that maybe this is where it ends. And I don't need to get all worked up about why have I lost interest? Like this was doing so well for me. Social media is such a great way to blah, blah. Like I think I'm okay with accepting that I no longer need to convince myself that I need to do this. I think what I've gathered from it is enough for me. This is actually the same line of logic I used when I quit violin. If you don't know anything about me, I used to play violin for many years. I think it was 16 years when I quit. I was chasing that dream ever since I was a little girl. The moment I picked it up, I knew, I think my parents knew this was just what I was gonna do. I got my undergrad, my bachelor's, and my master's degree in it, and then I got to a point where a part of me was like, I want to make more money. Like I want to experience 9 to 5. I want all that stuff. Like I want to work at Google and get free lunch. And I was coming up with all these excuses why I wanted to quit violin. But I think at the end of the day, what it really was, and I'm okay with admitting that, is that I completed the project to where I wanted to do it. And I got out of it everything I desired in that moment. And I didn't have to punch myself in the gut to come up with more dreams and more goals just so I can stay in it. I can make peace with the fact that the project at that time is done. And I feel the same way with social media. Like the project at this point in my life, I think it's over. Like I have learned, gained, and met. I like moved to New York City because of social media, basically. I started my speed dating business because of social media, basically. I met so many of my close friends because of social media. And I think I don't need to upkeep my relationship with something that I have fallen out of love with just because of all the things that I gained. I think I can say it's done. And I'm happy to move on, and I'm happy to find the next best thing that opens whatever is fit for me right now. So who do I want to become post social media? I have realized that short form specifically, there are so many people on there that talk, have opinions, that have things to share. And I will never look down on it because that's essentially how I got started. And I think if people want to say something, if people want to share something, whether it's coming from a place of deep validation and community seeking, like whatever your motivation is, do it, girl. If you just want to be on a PR list, do it, girl. Like, I think none of that matters. But for me, I started getting this sense that everyone has something to say, and it will always be that way. But I started feeling very overwhelmed with everyone's opinions, and I did not have time to think for myself anymore. I started experiencing kind of like the paradox of choice, something I felt a lot when I was dating and having friends. It's like, oh my God, I'm on dating apps, so many hot men, like, I want to go on a date with a doctor. I want to go on a date with a lawyer. I want to go on a date with a finance bro, like options. And they're all liking me back. Like, you get so dizzy with choice. And I feel like that's the way I've started to feel with social media. It's like, I like the way that girl dresses. I want to buy something like that. Like, I like what she's talking about. I want to create content like that. I like the way he expresses himself. Like, I want to do a little bit of that. And it's like, I think I just got into this fucking headspace where I'm like, I'm so inspired by all these things. I want to do everything. And then I sit in my room and I'm like, now there's like 12 million ideas that I have to explore that I don't want to do. And it's like, why is that? Is it because I'm lazy, or is it because I truly don't feel connected to any of those ideas? I think it's this part. I was so overwhelmed, so overstimulated with everyone saying everything, and then feeling this need to be just as cool or just as creative or just as adventurous, that when it comes down to actually doing the thing, I'm like, I don't want to do it. And it's not because I'm lazy or unmotivated or incapable. It's just because I don't connect to it. And I've never asked myself, like, what do I connect to? I'm just so busy, like, keeping up, that I just want to sit in my solitude. Like, I want to learn things on my own. I want to be presented materials through happen chance where I like stumble into it, or through the people that I meet. Like, I think I want something more organic. Like, you just get on your phone and you're fed all this information. And don't get me wrong, access to education and information is huge, and you shouldn't rob yourself of that. But at a certain point, like, the noise in my head is just so loud that I cannot even think about. I don't even know what I like to think about on the daily, right? I'm just thinking about the things that I saw, and it is dizzying. So ultimately, here's what we're doing about it. Content creation is my main source of income, so I can't just say fuck it and not do it. Like, not until I figure out another way to make money. I have to still keep up with this. So I just kind of gave myself rules around consuming social media the same way I did with alcohol. So the first thing is, I just don't want to be on social media. I don't want to intake more than what is needed for work, basically. So I use this app called Opal, and it basically blocks apps. I've used this in the past to block like certain hours in my day, but this time I'm just going no social media days. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I just don't want to see it at all. So I've just blocked the entire day entirely. There's a part of me that's like, oh, there's so many like stories and people's posts that I'm gonna miss, but honestly, I don't care. I think I'm feeling so done with it that I just need to prioritize this feeling first, and the world will move on, right? Like, I have friends who are on social media and they're fine. It's gonna be fine. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm not gonna look. Obviously, I work in social media, so I've allowed myself to check DMs on my desktop. It's way harder to scroll on there and consume. And anything that I need to post on social media, I'll post on my okay days. So Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturday, Sundays. If I ever need to like batch post some stories or batch post a video, I'll do it then. Everything will be fine. I'm not going to look at comments, not going to look at my analytics. I am just going to do my job and fuck off. And I think just at least having that Monday, Wednesday, Friday off will give me so much headspace to have that clarity, that discipline, and to think about, who am I? What do I like to think about? How can I create different ways for me to learn and better myself and create that next life for me. Like I said, I really want to phase out of social media. I feel like this is that second project in my life that I'm okay with just saying goodbye to. I really think it's given me way more than I ever dreamed for myself. I did not ever think I was going to move to New York City, but that's the gift that social media has given to me, and I'm very grateful, and I'm ready to take that and the connections and lessons and opportunities and everything that I gained from it to funnel into my next project, whatever that may be. This is awkward. This is kind of like a goodbye letter or notice of change letter. You know, things are gonna shift around here, and that's okay. I'm so thankful for my gut instinct. Sometimes it leads me to do lots of bad things in moderation, which is low-key like a thank you, but also it leads me to like step into new things without fear, because I think I know in my gut like everything's gonna be okay. I've never let myself down. I've been in shitty situations, but I've never let myself down, and I trust that. I'm excited. Let's end this on a positive note. I don't know why you clicked into this video. Maybe you're sick and tired of social media too. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. I say that to myself so many times. Everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine. Let that sense of calmness direct you into whatever's next for you, and everything will be okay. All right, thanks again for watching this video on YouTube. If you want to see me on Tuesday and Thursdays on Instagram, I'll be over there, but otherwise I'll check in with you next time.